Hi guys, welcome to Tech. So in this video what we are going to learn is yesterday we have created a project and now we are going to explore the code in the project. So what I would suggest is if you have not watched the previous video, go in the series and watch the video and come back to this to have the better understanding. As you see in the code, I just have each and every line command out to have a better understanding for you guys. So just run through this as well also. And in the first line, if you see, there's a line called where builder equal to web application dot create builder. This line is used to initialize the web application. The third and fourth line has the enable services to enable the services like Swagger and REST API services. And the sixth line is used to have the variable app is used to have the builder function into it. And in the eighth line, as you see, we are just going to check whether this environment is development environment or not. This is an interesting one. Let's have a deeper on this. As you see, there is a folder called properties. Inside there is a JSON file where, as you see, there is a key value called profile, right? So this was a default one which was created during the project creation in the .NET framework itself. As you see in the profile, there is a key value called HTTP where that declared to the local host. This means HTTP is mapped to the local host. Okay. So as you see, there is some of the variables called launch URL, application URL, and there is an environment variable declared inside the variables, right? So as you see, there is a variable called development, like there is a value called development, which is the one which says that this running environment is the development environment. Okay, if you are going to use it for the stage environment, you just declare it as stage, or if you're going to use it for live environment, you can declare it as live. Basically, these environments are the one which are majorly used on the company side to maintain the stage environment as a separate and live environment as a separate one. So it's just a checking on this 8th line, and after checking it's a development environment. It just initializes the Swagger thing with this use Swagger and use Swagger UI. And in the 14th line, as you see, it just uses the method to check the security of the HTTP method. So we are just using for the security purpose. Now let's see like how our functions is working. So I have a function like app dot map test routes, and as you see, I'm just maintaining a folder structure. Like I have the route folder. Inside the route I had a folder test, and there I had a file called test route.cs, and you see there is a folder called controllers. Inside the controller I have the same folder name as test. I have the controller file over here. Why we have to maintain these like repositories types? So I just explain you a bit deeper in this folder structure because this was a very major thing which we need to follow. So just jump into the documentation and see the analysis of this. Basically, what is the folder structure that I would suggest you guys? So you have to follow these folder structure for any of the APIs that you're going to work. Basically, you have the root folder and you have to have the controller folder to maintain your business logics, and you have to have the model folder. Basically, these folder will be followed because you have to maintain every of this, like each and every schema onto the model folder only. This is a mandatory one. And the route folder, which some of the APIs defaultly had this, or if you need, you can have to create the custom route folder to maintain your routers over there. And the services thing, which is basically used to have the repeated function in the services, so which you are going to use it on controllers or over in any of the files that we are going to use it on a project level. And as you see, there is a folder called utilities where you have the utilities function, like we can say we have the helper functions like time converter and date converter. Those stuffs will be there in the utilities folder. And there is a folder called validation, which was very useful in the APIs, because in the APIs we are going to validate a lot. Like we have to validate whether the coming email is a proper email or not, whether it's the string value or not, whether it's a number value or not. For the amount, we have to have the number value mandatory. So for those validations, we just need to follow the validation folder. Then the code will look neat and clean, guys. So if you're going to follow these folder structure, the code will definitely look very neat and clean, and it is easy for all the developers to maintain it. So I would suggest you to maintain these folder structure. If you need, you can take a stack on it and you can use these folder structure for your projects as well. Okay, now I'm just running my project in the local host. As you see, I just use the same command which is used on yesterday, so it started running. Okay, so it successfully ran the local host on my local. As you see, there is an output called get method. Get method, there is a route called hello is there. So as you see, like we are going to see how the hello is created, how that is coming through. It is only calling the app dot map test routes, right? So how that is coming like a slash hello route. Let's see this. We have the file called test routes inside a router. As you see, I'm just maintaining the same folder name or test for the router as well and frame for the controller as well. Why have to maintain the same name for these two? As I said already, if you're going to maintain a folders in a clean manner, whether if you imagine you're going to work with a project like have the onboarding flow and have the payment flow, so I'm just having the same name for the router and controller. It was easy to map to those folders. Like if there is a onboarding flow, the router will be in the onboarding flow and the controllers for those routers will be in the controllers and the onboarding. So it was easy to map. Okay, just jump into the code and have you see here I just use a public static and class method for the declaration of the test route. As you see, I'm using a static method to declare my class, and as you see here, I'm using a map test route function declared with the parameter web application app. But have you think why I need to initialize the web application over here in the custom logic, and why I have to have the web application initialized in the parameter? So yeah, so have you seen the program.cs file? We are just directly calling app.mapTestRoutes. How that works? Because the app is the one which we initialized with the builder function. How the builder function is directly calling a custom route. So for these linking only, we are just initializing the web application over in the first parameter and link it over there. Okay. Yeah, now we are declared a controller with the new object. As you see, there is a folder called controller. Inside, I had a folder test and had the file. As I already told, I have maintaining the same folder name for the routes and controllers to maintain the stability and the cleanability. Like when you're working on the company and you're working with multiple developers, a developer is working on router, a developer is working on controller. So if you're maintaining the same name, it is easy to maintain the stability of the code and the cleanability of the code. And as you see over here, I'm just have the new to initialize my class over here because I'm not declaring the class in the static method. I'm declaring as a public method, and I'm just have the object public object and have the function get result. Instead, I'm just returning a static value message equal to hello world. I'm just calling this function to return this value over in the router file. So I'm just calling the method as you see. Okay, I did a mistake, so I just correcting it. Done. So how do you see? I'm just calling the controller dot get result to get the hello world value printed over here in the result. So let's see. There is a route called hello right. Okay, we can try one thing. We're just going to change the name to first program and I hit save. If you're going to change like this route itself, you have to recompile it again. Like you have to stop the server and you have to rerun the server again. Okay, I rerun the server. So it take a bit second to load. So yeah. Okay, just try to reload. Oh, okay, cool. So it started a new page, like new tab, just run the new thing. So as you see, there is a route change over here, and hit a try it out, and we just hit execute to see the result. As you see, the result comes like message hello world. Yeah, how we asked you the result. So now we are maintaining the folder structure neat and clean. So if you want to change the message over here and you have to add the custom logics, you just go into the controller folder and have the logic over here. To maintain this code like this, there are so much of advantages. How you see, we have a neat and clean ability over here. Like if you're going to maintain all those things in a same file, there are so much of lot of lines for the single function. And if you're going to use a multiple function, there are the code was looking very clumsy to maintain. So if you're maintaining like that, it's very easy and it makes your code neat and looks clean. Okay. So in the upcoming videos, we are going to see the models and we are going to see the logics, like how the models is created, how the DB is interlinked with the project. For those stuff, you are going to see it on the next videos in the series. So stay following, guys. Thank you. Bye.